For the first question, what aspects of parenting lead to a sense of trust? I would say that a parent being consistent in their patterns of feeding and responding to a baby's cries, changing them, showing love and affection, and being very attentive to the baby creates a sense of trust because the baby will learn to recognize that when they cry, the parents are there. And in that way, it creates a trustworthy relationship between the parent and the baby. So the baby knows that the parents are there and that the baby can trust the parents. And then for what roles do physical comfort, consistency, lack of fearful situations, and feeding play? These are all very important. So if a parent physically comforts a baby, is consistent in responding to the baby's cries, and makes them feel safe. And a lot of the times when a baby's crying, it's because they feel unsafe. And so if a parent is consistent in responding to the cries and is there to comfort them, and along with that is there to feed them when they're hungry or change them, this helps create a secure attachment style between the baby and the parent because the baby is secure knowing that the parent is going to respond to their cries. And then what is the role of parental attentiveness? So the role of parental attentiveness is, like I just said, physically comforting the baby, being consistent in doing so, being there when the baby cries, feeding them and changing them when the baby cries and needs that. Being attentive in that way and getting there quickly is what parental attentiveness is, and that's also very important in developing a secure attachment style. And then for the question, should a caregiver respond immediately to the infant's cries? Most researchers and sources say yes, that the parent should respond immediately, especially up to 6 months, because that's when the baby's initial attachment style forms. And it's very important that the baby trusts that the parent will be there to comfort them, change them, or feed them when it's necessary. And along with that, the crying it out method has been shown not to work, and that it puts the baby in a state where they kind of are depressed and they've just given up reaching out for help, which is how they reach out for help, by crying, because their parents weren't attentive and weren't responding to their cries. And do you think that trust is developed more easily by later born versus firstborn children because their parents are more confident? I would say that no, because I think that it really just depends on the situation and the parents. Like, there could be parents who by their fourth kid are less attentive, or they think they have it all figured out, so they are less anxious and worried and they're responding to the cries less, or I don't know, just being less there because they're more experienced, so they think that they know better and that they don't have to be. Or there could be parents that feel like they need to be more attentive or do things differently as they have more children. So it really just depends. And along with that, what aspects of being a firstborn counterbalance the advantages of having experienced parents? One thing that I thought was kind of interesting that I found was that sometimes parents are actually there's more benefits to being a firstborn child, because your parents, while they might make mistakes because you are the first, they're going to be more attentive, they're going to be more worried, they're going to be there a lot quicker because they've never had experience with a baby before. So there is a certain level of protectiveness that maybe a firstborn will receive from their parents versus a later born child. But for the last two questions, it kind of just depends on the situation with the parents, because every person is different with their kids and their family structure.